Hello everyone, my name is Aaron Muller. I'm with Advantage Commercial Brokers. I'm going to do a segment today on business valuation. The question that a lot of people ask me is, how much is my business worth? That's one of those questions that takes a lot to answer, and there's a lot of variables involved in that. And so wanted to start off by talking about just how many years that business has been established. That's a big part of valuation process, and the reason being is something that has only been in business for a couple of years may not be quite as viable as something that's been in business for 25 years, so that can adjust the value of the business. Another thing that business owners don't look at as a real important factor in a business is their books. They put that off because it's very time consuming and challenging to make sure that they're accurate, but it's so essential in valuation, because if your balance sheet isn't accurate or your P&L statement has a lot of categories that are off, it's not going to look as credible to a buyer, so they might not pay as much money for that versus a company that has very tight, clean books. One thing that also can add value to a company is location, depending on the type of business that it is. So if it's a retail business or a restaurant, location is going to be very important to that valuation. If it's a service business that can be done all over town, then and they just need a central location, location won't typically play a part in that. Same goes with visual appeal. Like, there's certain industries that should look better than others, like a bar or a restaurant. That's going to make a big difference to a potential buyer when they go in there, and that could change the value in that business. One thing, probably the most absolutely important things, is profitability of the business. Profitability is something that, what is that person going to be able to make as income when they buy that business, and they're able to pay their debt off and everything. So profitability is going to be your number one factor in valuing that business. Another thing that people buy are franchises, and franchises feel like safe bets for a lot of buyers. So sometimes a valuation on a franchise is going to be much higher than something that is non-franchise, because you have a lot of back-end support and a proven system. And so a franchise could potentially sell for more money than something that's not. Industries are another one. Depending on the kind of industries you're in, that can have an impact on multiples. Also competition. Since competition is a big factor if you can grow your business fast or not, because there could be a niche industry that has no competition that's going to be very desirable for a buyer. So they're going to look at that and say, wow, I can really dominate an industry if I don't have a lot of competition, versus that one that does. Another one that you would want to look at is seasonability, seasonal business. And if it's something that, let's say a landscape company, if you have like a company that only makes its business 6 months out of the year, you want to at least sell that business during the peak time of that season, so that you get the most value for that business. If you try to sell it off season, people are going to be a little concerned that they're not going to have any income really coming in until it gets busy again. Another one, this is a big one that a lot of people don't understand, but equipment does not typically add more value, a higher price for the business, but they'll give that business more value out there on the marketplace. So it's not going to increase your sellability, or the sale price, which a lot of times people have almost too much equipment in their business for what they can sell the business for, and that you have to weigh that out and figure out maybe other options for you with some of that equipment. Inventory is something that also can change the valuation, and not so much the valuation but the price that you get, because let's say you have inventory on top of your sell price, that can increase what your bottom line is at the very end of the deal. Another thing that is pretty important is how that business is run. Is that business absentee type business, or is it an owner-operator type operation? An absentee ownership business might just get a higher multiplier and be more desirable to somebody, but not necessarily have a higher value for that business. And probably the last thing that we look at too is the growth potential of that business. Is that business able to grow to $10 million, or is it going to get capped out at $1 million? And that's how the buyer's going to look at it. And so that's why sometimes like manufacturing, wholesale type companies might have a higher multiplier, sell for more money, because they know that the growth potential is much greater than, let's just say, a small service business that is going to cap out of that $1 million, and they're only going to make so much income on that business in the end. So for more information on selling a business, please go to our website at acbrokersinc.com, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.